An attitude of gratitude, as corny as it sounds, is such a powerful thing. And I think above all else, you know, my biggest feeling is being grateful for the opportunity that I've had to be a part of Lindamood-Bell. But it all started when I was in first grade. I couldn't read. I didn't know the ABCs. I really just didn't know how to comprehend. Very quickly, I started struggling. They called my parents into the school, and I was first grade, and they said, "Your son will never be, you know, where his peers are. He'll always be in special ed." My dad came storming out of that room, and he said, my kid will not always struggle with learning. I ended up having to, you know, repeat the first grade. I was a first grader asking, you know, when I was getting held back, "Mom, if I ever, you know, get to where I'm supposed to be, can I skip a grade and go back to where I was?" And she said yes, you know, probably thinking that that was never ever gonna happen. When a kid at that age doesn't know why he's not where he's supposed to be, he gets put into a program that makes him feel lesser than the people that he's surrounded with. And if that child isn't able to get help, then there's potential for that child to be have that mindset for the rest of their life. I'd finished the first grade. I was still having problems. My family took a trip to a lake, and right before we're about to leave, there was a woman that asked my mom about our family, and they got on the subject of me and my learning disability. And that lady, coincidentally, was somebody that worked at Lindamood-Bell. And she said, "Your son doesn't have a problem. He just needs a little bit of extra help." Within a week of us getting back from that, you know, that camping trip, I was being tested at Lindamood-Bell, and I was enrolled the next week. 20 years later, we're sitting in the same building in San Diego that my parents dropped everything and, you know, were able to put me through. When I came in here, I only knew 3 words. I didn't know the alphabet. I didn't know how to read. And so initially they had to teach me, you know, what the alphabet was. Once I knew that, then I started learning words. And by the end of my time here, you know, my vocabulary was way up here. So then by that time I was in the 3rd grade. The teacher at the time, his name was Mr. Locker. He called my parents into the classroom. Mr. Locker told my parents that I was the #1 person in the class. And I had the highest some of the highest testing in the state of California, and I was top of my GATE program. And my mom started crying, you know. So going back to that promise my mom made me back when I was in 1st grade, you know, the first thing my mom asked this teacher, Mr. Locker, was, you know, "Can Robert skip 5th grade?" And he said, "Absolutely." It just didn't stop there. You know, I was an honor roll student, 4.0 student from 6th grade until I graduated. And, you know, fast forward a little bit, I now have a master's in business, and I work at one of the fastest growing software companies in the world. And I have a position of gratitude for everything I've been given. And now I'm sitting, you know, at Lindamood-Bell. It's like the best feeling in the world. You know, I want to raise money, I want to help kids, I want to motivate kids, because it had such a big impact on my life. And so that's when I reached back out to Lindamood-Bell and said, "Hey, like, you know, here's my vision. I want to, you know, raise a bunch of money to help kids that their parents, you know, don't have the means to send their kids to Lindamood-Bell." And Lindamood-Bell, you know, funny enough, had a nonprofit arm of their organization specifically set up to help the parents that don't have the means. The company that I work for now, which is a company called Cisco Systems, they have this amazing non-profit matching program. What I'm planning to do is I'm running a marathon. Over the next 4 months, I'm training and really trying to get the word out there about raising $20,000 for Lindamood-Bell's nonprofit organization. And that is specifically going to go back to the children that get tested that Lindamood-Bell determines that they can help, and hopefully that money is going to be leveraged to change people's lives. 30 years later, I'm married to the woman of my dreams. I am so grateful for everything I've been given. I'm excited about the future of my life. I'm accomplished in education and I'm successful. And that wouldn't have happened without my parents investing the time and money for me to go to Lindamood-Bell. The power of being grateful can move mountains.